We went on the last ride that B&O had a passenger. We went down to Salamanca and turned around and came back on the last train to come through the Pavilion on the steam trains. Steve must have been about, I'm guessing, I don't know, 3 years old possibly, 2 or 3 years old, I don't know. And Alice took him down, they went down to the railroad to see us all off. A whole bunch of people from Pavilion went on the last train ride, passenger train. And he wasn't very happy about that steam coming out of the end of the engine. He thought it was going to blow up any minute. But I'm not sure what the year that was. It was 1950. I was there probably 54. I'm not sure of that. I wouldn't bet any money on it. But that was the last passenger train that could be used on the train, on the B&O. It was a B&O back then. Baltimore, Ohio.
You were asking about the first diesel down here. I remember it. And we kind of hunkered down behind something because there was this false story that if you get too close and suck you in, it's going to go so fast it would literally suck you into the train, so you would have a real disaster. So we had to kind of hunker down behind something to protect ourselves from this fast train that was going to go whizzing through the town. But it was shiny and different. After all those years of the steam engine, it was just fascinating to see this sleek machine come through town that we'd never seen before.
They were all steam engines at that time, and by the time the diesels came in, there was maybe, we might have had one diesel engine in the late 40s, 49 or 50 a week, but they were primarily all steam engines. And we were all excited because a diesel would come through, it was something different, and they had a different sounding horn on them, so that was kind of neat. And, they had a lot of power, and they were a lot quieter, and so it was kind of exciting to see the diesels come through, but it was kind of sad to see the steamers leave too. So
I don't know when the last actual steam train ended, because the passengers, this was it. When we went to Salamanca and back, there wasn't any more after that. But there was freights. The freights ran, still do as far as that goes. But in the early 1950s, somewhere along in there, 52 or 3 or 4. Because Steve was born in 1950. So if he was 2 or 3 years old, it must have been about 54. I took a whole bunch of pictures all the way down of every station on the way down with a movie camera. Bob Reinhardt Sr. asked me if he could borrow the camera for a minute. He wanted to take a picture of me. He dropped it. Never did see it again. Frank Andrews used to go down to the railroad station and pick it up and take it to the post office. Matter of fact, it ended up a few years or so later. He had a big steel arm out beside the track, and they put the mail bag on that, and the train would slow down enough so that they could reach out and grab it. They wouldn't stop; they just slow down enough so they could get it.
The mail used to come in by the steam engines. Can't remember his name. He had an old pickup, and he would be the one that
so fast I couldn't understand how he would know, and he'd be talking right along with me and tell me what the teletype was saying, and I couldn't understand how anybody could ever get to be that good at just listening to a bunch of clickety-clacks going on the teletype. But it was really neat, and he'd let me stay there and push the freight carts around, and when a train would stop, he'd let me stay there and watch him take the baggage and the mail off and stuff like that. It was kind of a neat place. But soon after the Second World War, it was soon gone. It only lasted 4 or 5 years, as I remember, and everything was gone, and eventually they condemned the building